Okay, 1, 2. 1, 2 testing. I think we're on. I think we're on. Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is my first time doing a YouTube live thing. Never done it before, but hello. We're going to be watching the Miami Grand Prix today, where Max Verstappen, who else, starts from pole position. Shock. Something that I'm actually quite happy about because I am a Max Verstappen fan, which I know is quite unpopular amongst a lot of people. But anyway, let me remove my. I need to remove my thing. Excellent. Apparently things are excellent, which is great. Um, so let's just. What I need to do. Be great if I could have the OBS on my screen without you seeing it. But anyway, if I do that, what I've got here, I've got the chat in front of me now. YouTube Live's actually quite good because Twitch, for whatever reason, OBS and Twitch don't work that well together. But it looks like YouTube Live works really well. So I've got the timings there. Got the timings there so you can see them. And I've got the chat in front of me as well. You'll be able to see the chat as well on the screen anyway. But anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and just advertise. I'm going to go and watch myself on my first ever YouTube live. This is exciting. Yes, it's there. It's working. I'm going to thumb myself up because that I know it's sad to do that, but is my let me just turn the sound off. Bye sound. How do I turn you off? Shut up, boy. In fact, I'll just turn my I'll just turn myself up, turn myself down. There we go. Yeah, but I've got the leaderboard there for you to see. I'm obviously watching the Grand Prix in front of me, so I could see that. And let me just. Oh, I leaned forward like there you go. There's a big shot. I'm just seeing because I'm quite delayed. A big shot of my hair and slight view of my receding hairline as well. So yeah, apologies for that. But yeah, in front of you on the screen, you should have the leaderboard there, which obviously when the race gets underway, will give you a view of proceedings. Where's my phone charger's here? Great. Okay, I'm just gonna put my phone on charge. 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 There we go. Just got some really annoying adverts in front of me. Oh God, shut up. That is so annoying. Um, is it Mackey's or is it Burger King? That's a horribly annoying advert. Aren't these adverts just so? There are some adverts that are quite good. I enjoy some of them. Once again, whenever I get close, you can just see, just because there's a ring light on the mic, you can just see my forehead, my awfully large forehead. But at a distance, luckily, you don't see it as much. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to advertise. Can I share this directly to Snapchat stories? That would be great if I could. Yes, I can. In fact, no caption required. Let's just go straight to my story. Boom. Public. Anyone can join. Bosh. Beautiful. Now, can I do the same thing with... I think Instagram's a bit more fiddly. Let's copy that link. Or let's see if I can go direct to Instagram. No, I can't. So let's just go on Instagram. And I've got an Instagram story up. I didn't know I had it. Oh, I do. It's a YouTube. It's another YouTube-based thing. It's from my Star Wars Day stuff. If you haven't seen already, I did a couple of Star Wars Day things. I did a run through of the Lego Star Wars episode on Camino, and then after that, I did the Disco Room Easter egg as well. The classic Lego Star Wars Disco Room Easter egg. So let's get an image of me. Perfect. Okay. Sticker. Oh, no, I just pressed on it. You know when the notification drops down just as you go and press up above? That's what I just did. come and join me for an F1 watch along. Sorry if you can't hear me that well. Watch along tonight. Get involved with the chat and ask me anything. It's basically a Mark Goldbridge impression that I'm doing now. This is basically me Mark Goldbridging, isn't it? So let's go to link, paste, done, YouTube. God, isn't America? Miami, I've been to Miami. And it was a mixed bag. I mean, I was seeing a good friend, Luke Frost. I was hanging out with a good friend in Ewan, whose last name changed, and I think it's now Mella. But there were just some crazy things about it. There were just some of the people in Miami were absolutely crazy. Anyway, oh no, I just pressed on another YouTube video. I don't care about them. Feel free to get in the chat at any point. But there we go. Anyway, so yeah, we're just getting warmed up. I've got a non-alcoholic Erdinger. Other non-alcoholic beers are available. Is this working? Why am I frozen? Oh, is this just back in time? Oh, it's just delayed. I was just on the stream. I was just sat like that for ages, but I think that's because I was on my phone doing the old promotion. This tastes like promotion. But yeah, Crofty's just going through his usual sort of pre-Grand Prix setup chatter where he talks about the track. Let me just let you know what the grid is. So Max Verstappen is on pole. The front row is shared with Charles Leclerc. So it's Verstappen, Leclerc, and then Leclerc's teammate Sainz in the other Ferraris in third. Perez in fourth. So it's Red Bull, Ferrari, Red Bull. Then the two McLarens of Norris and Piastri in fifth and sixth. Russell and Hamilton, 7th and 8th. Russell once again getting the better of Lewis Hamilton. Let's see if Hamilton decides to bulldoze into the rest of the field and use them as skittles like he did in the sprint race the other day. Hulkenberg again doing brilliantly up in 9th. Then Tsunoda is 10th ahead of Lance Stroll, who a rare dub for Lance Stroll, out-qualifying Alonso. Stroll 11th, then Gasly, another rare dub for him this season ahead of Ocon. I like Gasly. I prefer Gasly to Ocon. Ocon's 13th, then Albon 14th, ahead of Alonso down in 15th, who apparently starting on the hard tyre, which is interesting. Everyone starting on the medium except for Hamilton in 8th, Alonso in 15th. Bottas in 16th is starting on the soft, which is a bit of a mental decision because the softs go off really fast, I think. Sargent is on the mediums in 17th. Magnussen in 18th has gone for the hard. So Magnussen's going to go long and then hold everyone up so Hulkenberg can get a good result. That's what's going to happen. Zhou 19th and then Ricciardo. Ricciardo going from finishing 4th in the sprint, qualifying and finishing 4th in the sprint to starting last. How things can so quickly change in Formula 1, eh? But anyway, I've got my little trusty F1 bottle opener. Thanks to Ethan and the guys at Fuel Cards for getting me that on my leaving do. And I'm going to use it to open my non-alcoholic Erdinger. Once again, other brands are available. Whoa, yeah. Beautiful. Cheers. Yeah, it's interesting to see that. So the mediums are the tyre of choice to go for, which I think is what we expected. But Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso, two wily old heads, have decided to go for. Well, decided not to go for that, and they've gone for the hard tyres. Just making sure you can hear me okay. Yeah, you can hear me. That's always good. Beautiful. Okay, well, we'll see if anyone gets involved. In fact, I'm just going to put feel free to drop a chat. Feel free to drop a chat. Ask me anything. And I'll put 2 kisses just to be more friendly. So there we go. I've dropped a chat in my own chat. Cheers. I'm being sensible at the moment. I'm not drinking. I'm being a good boy. A good boy. Okay, they're away on the formation lap at the moment. Bottas on the soft. I have no idea what the thinking is behind that, to be honest. I don't know what he's... The softs go off super fast, so I don't know why he's gone down that particular road. But we'll see. Maybe you'll prove me wrong. I've just realised that in my Lego Star Wars playthroughs, you can't see the stud total because my camera's in the way. And that is going to be a problem that affects me again today because they put up alerts such as, you know, penalties for drivers, and it comes up at the top of the screen. So I might not be able to see that. So I might have to rely on Crofty. You never want to be relying on Crofty to explain what's going on because although he's great for building atmosphere and tension, he does get a lot of stuff wrong. But luckily Brundle is there to pick up the pieces and let us know if anything, if Oat is going down. But yeah, anybody watching, feel free to get in the chat. Feel free to ask me anything. It could be about Formula One, but it could be about football. It could be about my Lego Star Wars playthroughs. It could be about my Zelda playthroughs. It could be about anything you want. Anything. YouTube, not YouTube, sport, games, life. Would I beat a polar bear in a fight? That sort of thing. I'm basically Mark Goldbridging right now. This is just pure Mark Goldbridge, but I'm watching F1, not Man United, so I'm not fully copying him, but I am slightly, almost completely copying him. But yeah, Max is leading them round. What do I want to happen today? Well, I'm a Max Verstappen fan. I want him to win, but I don't want it to be easy. I want a good... Leclerc looked fast in the sprint races. Ferrari looked all right, so let's see. Let's see how we get on. I'm just going to pop up the OBS, the information. And everything looks good. We're not dropping frames. We're being very consistent, which is great. Great to see. And we're nearly underway. They're talking about the Max Verstappen defence in the sprint yesterday. It was a good start from, I think it was Leclerc who started second. Yeah, I think it was. And Leclerc got a good start, but Max just managed to cover him off and did some good defensive driving to turn one. So it looks a bit less sunny than it has looked for the rest of the weekend in Miami. Oh no, I'm behind. There's spoilers. The thing is a spoiler for me. So you'll be seeing. I'm not going to look at that because that's ahead. But we're now underway. Lights out and away we go. And it's a bad start for Leclerc. Leclerc's got a bad start. Sainz is through. Perez, oh my goodness me. Perez nearly took Max out. Oh my God. So into third goes Piastri. I thought Perez had just taken Max out then. Whoa. That was scary stuff. Imagine if Perez had just taken Max out and the two Red Bulls had crashed. That would have been crazy. So what else is going on then? We've got Verstappen leading from Leclerc, from Piastri, from Sainz, Perez down to fifth. And now Norris is trying to get past Perez. Hamilton's got up to 7th. Russell's dropped down to 10th. That's where we're at the moment. So Piastri's up to 3rd. Whoa, that's the two Alpines side by side. Bloody hell. Careful, boys. Oh, my word. Ocon's down the inside. I'm surprised. I don't know how the two Alpines didn't crash there. Whoa, I just slid down my chest of drawers. But, wow. Max leads, but I really thought that for a second there he'd been taken out by Checo. As Gasly and Ocon are going at it, Gasly's got past Ocon. Well, he was already past him at the start. He started ahead of him, but as now, look at this. Hamilton's under pressure from Hulkenberg going round the outside of Hamilton. Oh, what a move. Is that Hulkenberg on Hamilton? I think it is. What a move. Nico Hulkenberg on Lewis Hamilton and now Tsunoda. Go on, Yuki. Go on, Yuki. So basically what we're seeing here is that Lewis Hamilton's tyres, he went for the hard tyres and they're not warming up. So Yuki Tsunoda is putting Lewis Hamilton under all sorts of pressure. What a start from Oscar Piastri up to 3rd. What a start from Oscar Piastri. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Just making sure that you guys are seeing the movements as Alonso. So Gasly's ahead of Alonso. So yeah, I'm just making sure that your screens are updating, okay? But they are. They are. So the F1's official timing screen is actually slightly ahead of my broadcast feed. So I'm not going to look at it too much because it might start spoiling things. As Ocon, I think Albon's just got past Ocon. So Verstappen leads by 1.5 seconds over Charles Leclerc, but Perez came so close as Piastri sets the fastest lap. McLaren look quick. Perez so nearly just slammed into the back of Max Verstappen. That would have been something. So yeah, Piastri's right with Leclerc. Piastri looks quick. When the DRS will be open now, lap 3. Oscar Piastri and Sainz is right with him, are on the back of Charles Leclerc here. Someone on the highway. There's some cars on the highway that have just pulled over to watch the Grand Prix. Cheeky. Yeah, Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren is a great. It's great to see those constructors going at it, isn't it? But yeah, Piastri's really close to Leclerc here. DRS will go open. Can Piastri get past Leclerc? The McLarens aren't that fast in a straight line, but Piastri looks faster than Charles Leclerc at the moment. What is going on with Charles Leclerc? Sainz is not too far behind Piastri as well. Yeah, Martin Brundle's just made that point. But Charles Leclerc seems to be struggling. It's not an easy place to overtake, though. We saw that in the sprint where Carlos Sainz couldn't even overtake the RB, Daniel Ricciardo, which suggests that it's not going to be the easiest thing in the world to get a move here. DRS back open for Piastri, who's really close. Again, if anyone is watching, get in the chat, ask me anything. I'm probably going to say that a few times. I'm jealous of the big streamers where they get a lot of questions in, they get a lot of discussion, they get a lot of silly questions, but even the silly questions can sometimes lead to some interesting chats. So it would definitely be worth us. Look at this, Piastri's right with him, and Piastri's going down the inside of Leclerc, and did Verstappen just go off? It looked like a lockup from the Red Bull, but it looks like Piastri's through. He is. Oscar Piastri goes past Charles Leclerc, and he's now defending because Leclerc's trying to get back at him, and Sainz is right there. It looked like Verstappen had locked up. It looked like he'd locked up, but Verstappen's still in the lead by quite a long way, so I must have just been seeing things. But wow, Oscar Piastri is into second. Imagine if Piastri got his first full F1 win before Norris. He got a sprint win before Norris. Imagine that. Oh, that'd be crazy. It'd be a big shame for Norris. I do rate Norris. As you'll now be getting another great look at my receding. Well, it's not receding. It's just I've got a big forehead. I don't think it's receding yet. Or maybe I'm just in denial. But as soon as it does start receding, I'm in trouble. Yeah, Sainz is quicker than his teammate here. I'm just making sure that your timings are updated yet. Your timings are updating. You've got the leaderboard in front of you. And that is live. That is correct. Just going to go on my come off YouTube for a second and see if anyone is actually seeing my story, which they have. But yeah. I'm going to do a piece to camera on Snapchat now. Hello, Snapchat. Come and join me live. We've got the F1. Piastri's in second. I've got the timings for you. Right then, let me just post the links. We're getting a replay at the start here. This will be interesting to see because it looked like Perez. Oh, he's so close. Perez got so close to smashing into Verstappen. And yeah, that's how Piastri got past Sainz as well. Let's have a look at this on board with Perez. Let's have a look. Oh my goodness me. So he will have been absolutely bricking it, Perez, that he was going to take his teammate out. Absolutely bricking it. So I'm just going to pop that up there. Yeah, Sainz just asking what the fuck was that. I think he's talking about Checo Perez. So that it looked like this. I think the two Alpines were so close. The stewards are looking into it, I think. The stewards are looking into it. I'll put my phone up there so I can sort of see what's going on. So this is Alonso. Is there a bit of contact between Alonso and... Oh, the phone's just fallen over. So Sainz has not got past Leclerc yet, but he's right behind him. And Sainz is saying to the Ferrari team, he's saying, get him out of the way. Get him out of the way. Fernando is faster than you. Carlos is faster than you. And he really does. It does seem like Charles struggling a bit here. Leclerc has still got the DRS from Piastri, though, which is helping Leclerc stay ahead of Sainz. But Sainz has already got onto the Ferrari team saying, yo, fam, I've got pace here, bruv. Oh, there's a move there. That's Hamilton. Hamilton's got past Hulkenberg. It looks like his hard tyres are firing up now, which will happen. The mediums will start to go off and the hards, maybe slower to switch on, but they'll start coming into their own. But Lewis Hamilton is now ahead of Nico Hulkenberg. Let's see, it was just in a replay now of Hamilton on Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg defended. Big, heavy defence from Nico, but in the end he went wide, and Hamilton got through. So state of play then, Verstappen ahead by 2.5 seconds. Piastri, what a start for him, up to second now. Leclerc's only 7/10 back from Piastri, and Sainz is only 7/10 back from Leclerc. So they're pretty much evenly spread out, and Perez is a further 1.5 seconds back after his dive bomb into turn one, where he just nearly clattered into his teammate, which would have been... I would have been disappointed, of course, as a Max Verstappen fan, but what a start that would have been if Perez had just steamed into Max Verstappen. Hulkenberg's got past Hamilton. How has Hulkenberg got back past Hamilton? Is he DRS'd him? Let's see a replay, because Hulkenberg... Hamilton has locked up and run wide. It's a mistake by Lewis Hamilton. And just over the last few years, we've seen quite a few of those. He's not the beacon of consistency that he once was, Lewis Hamilton. He crashes into people. He makes mistakes. He is at fault for a lot of incidents. We saw it yesterday in the sprint. He's not what he was. He never used to make mistakes like this. But that just shows, doesn't it? If you put someone in a car at the front, a lot of people say about Verstappen, well, as soon as he moves back into the midfield, he'll start crashing into people again. I think they forget that even when he was in the Red Bull in Mercedes dominant era, he was very consistent. And then you drop Hamilton back into a midfield running car, and he makes mistakes. He's human. And I'm not dissing Hamilton. I'm not saying, it's the same for everyone. But Hamilton is not the driver he used to be. Still capable of a good result here, though. He's still capable of doing something special. But George Russell is right on his heels. And Hamilton trying to get Hulkenberg is getting Russell back involved. Once again, people, do feel free to get in the chat. Ask me anything. Let's get the debate going. This is just a fun, interactive evening with the F1. I don't know how many people are watching. I think it's about 3 or 4, if that. Feel free to get involved in any way you want. Non-alcoholic Erdinger. Sensible man. So Hulkenberg's only half a second ahead of Hamilton. Hamilton's got to get through Hulkenberg, and I think he will pretty soon. But he's just got to be careful of teammate George Russell, who's been quicker than Hamilton for most of the season. It will be interesting to see. Russell seems to be dropping back a little bit, though. Bit of a train, bit of a Hulkenberg train. All aboard. All aboard the Nico Hulkenberg train. Chugging around the tracks of Miami. It's not a bad representation of Erdinger, actually, that alcohol-free one. So Norris, just looking at Norris, actually, Perez is quite a way back. He's, 2 seconds back from Piastri, Leclerc and Sainz. And then not always Hamilton's up the inside. Hamilton's up the inside of Hulkenberg. And yeah, he'll get the job done there. Now let's see if he can stay ahead without running straight on again. And now it's time for... Russell, if he wants to stay with Hamilton, he's going to have to get past Hulkenberg pretty sharpish. Because there's a bit of a Hulkenberg train going on. But Hulkenberg gets the DRS from Hamilton, but Russell's right there. Russell to the inside. Russell can't do it. He can't do it. He can't get through, and it's because Hulkenberg's getting DRS from Hamilton. So Hamilton's actually helping Hulkenberg. So he needs to try and get away. It's weird to see the lead Aston Martin being Lance Stroll. What's Hulkenberg saying? Hulkenberg just said some awareness where we're racing would be good. I'm not sure as to. I think it sounds like he's maybe speaking to his engineer because maybe they were speaking to him while he was trying to do a bit of racing, do a bit of side to side. Down the inside goes Russell. Again, Hulkenberg stays in front, and this is not helping Russell's race. This is going to be a strategy one, isn't it? This race is going to need a bit of strategy, or a well-timed safety car to make it to make it interesting. Verstappen just seems to be holding Piastri back at 2.5 seconds, between 2.5 and 3 seconds. Leclerc and Sainz are still both 0.6. Leclerc 0.6 back from Piastri, Sainz 0.6 back from Leclerc. Right then, can Russell get Hulkenberg this time? You've got to be very close to overtake on this track. It's not an easy track to overtake at all. Big lockup from Hulkenberg. That's not going to help his tyres. And we've got our first pit stops of the day. Stroll, Sargent and Bottas. Not particularly important, but maybe they're going for an undercut. You never know. I'm not surprised to see Bottas in the pits because he was on the softs, which, no idea why. Plan B for Leclerc. God knows what that means. Ferrari could be doing anything as Russell on Hulkenberg to the inside. He's going for it this time, and he's got it. He's broken late. Can he make the corner? He's run wide, but not wide enough for Hulkenberg to get back. Russell is in front. And now he can charge after his teammate Lewis Hamilton. Seventh and eighth for the two Mercedes. And now Tsunoda next to attack Hulkenberg, who... This is a bit more reminiscent of Haas last year, isn't it? Where they would just drop like the old stone backwards through the pack. And he pits. Hulkenberg pits, and he's followed in by Pierre Gasly. Pierre Gasly in the pits as well. Cheers. Get in the chat. Who's watching? Well, 2 people. Feel free to get in the chat. It looks quite windy in Miami, actually. That's Perez under threat from Norris. I mean, usually in races, Norris has more race pace than Piastri. So it'd be interesting to see if Norris can get up. You know, if he can get past Perez, he could maybe join in with this battle. The battle between Piastri, Leclerc and Sainz. And, yeah, Norris is... Where's Perez's pace? This is a bit worrying for Perez. He's been quite good this year. He's been on the podium at most Grand Prix, but if he's oh, Albon goes off, and what's going on there? Someone was steaming up the inside of... Was that Alonso? I think it's Stroll. Stroll and Albon. Stroll and Albon going side by side. Albon going off the track. Maybe Stroll forced him off. Sainz is still asking Ferrari to let him through. And Ferrari just saying we're looking into it. Classic Ferrari, taking their time. But Sainz definitely believes that he's got more pace in hand, but he's just dropped back. Maybe he's realised that they're not going to swap them, as Norris is forcing Perez to go defensive here. Oh, Perez just went wide. Perez is not as quick as Norris here. Are his tyres going off? All very interesting. And it looks like Leclerc is boxing for the undercut. Leclerc is going to box for the undercut on Piastri. No, he's not. It was all dummy, maybe. Is it a dummy? Oh, I've just dropped the bottle cap. Did anyone else collect bottle caps, or is that just me? A few of my mates collected bottle caps. I've collected bottles and bottle caps. Fallout currency, if you know, you know. Fallout kind of making a bit of return, isn't it? Because of the show, which I haven't seen yet, but I've heard it's good. And as a Bethesda fan, maybe I should give it a go. If you've watched my videos, you'll know that I'm a Skyrim fan. I'm a Bethesda man. I got Fallout 4 for Christmas the year it came out, but I thought it was a bit... It was okay, but it didn't grip me. It didn't hold me like Skyrim did. And it was crazy. Like 2 years after... So when I got it for Christmas, it would have cost my mother and father about 60 quid to buy it for me. And 2 years later, it was like, you get it for a fiver in CEX. Crazy. Crazy scenes. It's a strategy race, this. It feels like a bit of a slow burner. But yeah, Perez struggling compared to Norris. Max isn't struggling, though. Max has just set the fastest lap. And Piastri and then Leclerc setting fastest laps. So they're all that suggests they're going to pit soon. And they're taking the last bits of life out of their tyres, maybe. Perez only half a second ahead of Norris. I think for the top cars to actually make overtakes, I mean, we saw Piastri on Leclerc, but generally speaking, I think it's going to be a strategy battle in the pit lane if we're going to see any of these positions shuffle about. As look at this, Norris on Perez. Looked like he was going to go for it, but Perez defended. I mean, if I was McLaren, I'd be... Matt Chartres saying, I don't see the point in F1 when Verstappen is so clear. That was in a private group, but I've read it out anyway. I think with F1, I mean, people often point out that Verstappen is dominating, which he is, and nobody has ever dominated like Verstappen has dominated. But F1's just about domination. It just is. Hamilton dominate. I mean, for what? Between 2014 and 2021, Hamilton won 6 out of the 7 championships, which is just crazy. Schumacher won 5 out of 5 in a row. Vettel won 4 in a row. It's just part of the sport, you know. It's just what happens, for better or for worse. I think because 2021 season was so incredible. Yeah, I mean, my good friend Ethan making a good point that it's the battle for second place, isn't it? Really, that's what we're looking for, because Max. it's easy to say, oh, it's really boring, and I get that. But I think you just got to appreciate sporting dominance. I feel like, we say, we praise, the Novak Djokovic's and the Rafa Nadals and the Federers for dominating their sport, in tennis, Tiger Woods in golf. So I feel like, but I don't remember anyone ever saying that golf was boring when Tiger Woods was dominating, or that tennis was boring when Nadal and Federer were dominating. But I think Formula One fans were spoilt by the 2021 season, where they went down to the last race, Verstappen and Hamilton, on the same amount of points, and then Verstappen won the title on the last lap. And I think a lot of new fans probably went, oh, is that what F1's like? Oh my God. But that is a very rare occurrence. That is one of the best seasons of all time. So we got a pitter. Sergio Perez gets out of the way of Lando Norris. Perez has been struggling a bit. Norris now needs to get his head down, get his foot down, and go for the overcut. The overcut, of course, is very difficult. 1.9 second pit stop. Unbelievable pit stop from Red Bull. And is Perez going to get out into a gap of clear air? There's a little bit of clear air. Perez is about 1.5 seconds ahead, behind, the Alpine of Ocon. So he's just got to go for it, set a fastest lap, and then Norris will probably respond and pit afterwards. It'll be interesting to see what McLaren do here, because they're going to have to pit either Piastri or Norris. Norris is under threat from Perez from the undercut. But if Ferrari are smart, and Ferrari aren't always smart, they should box one of their drivers now and force McLaren to decide, are you going to lose a place with Norris, or are you going to lose a place with Piastri? That's what I'd be doing if I was Ferrari. I'd back McLaren into a corner. It's like in chess, isn't it? And Ferrari have not pitted. I mean, I don't know why. It's like in chess when you form a pincer movement, so that it doesn't matter if your opponent goes one way or whichever way. I think what's it called? There's a term for it in chess, where it doesn't matter where your opponent moves, they'll still get taken, or they have to, or you're attacking two pieces at once, so they have to choose which piece is going to get taken because you will take one of them. That sort of thing. But alas, Ferrari have decided against it. Maybe they're going for a one-stop and Perez is going for a two-stop. Who knows? But that's what I would have done. Interesting. Norris and his engineer are saying, forget about Perez. Let's attack the drivers in front. Ethan Carrington Anderson. Okay, Ethan's asked a great question. I'm just going to go onto the chat and say, I'm on the stream. I'm watching the F1 on live stream. Feel free to join, Ethan. It's a great question. So Ethan says, in all honesty, 30% Verstappen skill, 70% Newey's car designing ability. Would you agree? I think, generally speaking, the 70-30 weighting between car speed and driver, that's pretty accurate, I would say. Because you cannot win. You could be the best driver in the world. And I thoroughly believe that Verstappen is the best driver in the world. I think you put him head-to-head against any driver, I think he beats them at the moment. However, if you put Verstappen in the Williams, he's not going to win the championship. You have to have a good car. And equally, you need a great driver to dominate the way that Verstappen's dominating. But I guess the way I would see it is, if you put, let's say, a good driver but not a great driver, let's say, I don't know, let's just say Carlos Sainz. If you put him in the Red Bull, he'd win the championship. Other way around, if you put Verstappen in the Williams, no, he wouldn't win the championship. So I think 70-30 is fair. Um, so I'm agreeing. I'm agreeing with Ethan's point. Now, has something happened? Perez, we know, has pitted. Leclerc has pitted as well. So we've seen Charles Leclerc. So Ferrari have done something at least. Ferrari have brought in Leclerc, which I must have missed when having debates with my good friends in the group chat. So Leclerc, I mean Norris now, after Perez and Leclerc boxing, Perez trying to undercut him, Norris has just set the fastest lap of the race, which is what he needs to do. His engineers saying, "Go on, go and get Carlos Sainz," and Norris was like, "Yeah, let's go get him then," which he seems to be doing. He seems to be doing it. So Verstappen leads by 3.6 seconds ahead of Piastri. Great performance by Oscar Piastri so far. Great start, and as we got Leclerc now, trying to go around the outside of Hamilton. Oh, this is tight. Leclerc, brilliant move. Brilliant move. I'm surprised Hamilton defended that as hard as he did, because these two aren't racing. I mean, they are racing. It is for position, but they're. Oh, the bollard. Bollard on the track. Interesting. There's a bollard on the track. How's that happened? They might have to put a safety car out for that. Oh, it was Verstappen. Verstappen saying that he's made contact with the bollard and might have hurt his front wing. Now, this would change it round. I'm a Verstappen fan, so I hope not, but it would be interesting. Let's see what happens here. Oh, yeah, he's hit the bollard. He lost a bit of control of the rear, had to snap and correct and aborted it, and then makes contact with the bollard. I think his front wing has survived. But the bollard, he's deposited it onto the track. So the bollard is now on the track. It's near the racing line. And are we going to see a safety car? Is there any damage to Max Verstappen's car? That bollard is right. Oh, the bollard is rolling towards the racing line as well. They might have to throw a safety car here. And Max has lost time to Piastri. Not much. The front wing seems to be okay. But that's it's a slight error from Max, and it's a rare thing to see that. And it could make this race interesting, because someone could hit that bollard. And then we've got multiple drivers complaining about it, apparently. And I'm not seeing it on the screen, but I'm hearing virtual safety car. I'm hearing virtual safety car. But I'm delayed. My stream is slightly delayed. But yeah, virtual safety car. Russell's saying it's blown onto the racing line. And we've got a safety car, virtual safety car. Are we going to see any pit stops during this virtual safety car? They've done it. So the marshals have collected it. Alonso's pitted. Ocon's pitted. Magnussen's pitted. But none of the leading cars have been able to take the chance. So Alonso and Ocon have made the most of it. So they'll make slight advantages here. They'll make slight gains. And that actually puts Alonso ahead of Stroll. Poor Stroll, who's actually had a decent race. But Alonso moves through, and now it's green flag, so we're away again. None of the leaders were able to make the most of that, but it does. The virtual safety car spreads you out a little bit, because you've got to judge the delta. So well done to Alonso and Ocon, I think it was. And it looks like Verstappen now into the pits. Yes. Max Verstappen pits, which will put Oscar Piastri into the lead of the Grand Prix. 2.2 second stop for Max. So they made a slight adjustment to the front wing apparently, but not much in the way of damage apparently. As Alonso trying to get past the Alpines, he moves through on Gasly. I tell you what, unlucky so the Alpine of Gasly outperforming Ocon in the race and Stroll outperforming Alonso, but because of the virtual safety car situation, the two number twos who were actually running ahead have lost out again. Oh, it's always the way, isn't it? So Verstappen has pitted. Piastri leads. Oscar Piastri leads the Miami Grand Prix. Perez gets past Sonoda. As we've got an Alpine, that's Ocon. Ocon on Hulkenberg. Ocon round the outside of Nico Hulkenberg. Gets through. Fastest lap for Lando Norris. Lando's got pace here. And he's only 2.5 behind Sainz. Leclerc obviously has pitted. Verstappen has pitted. Russell is being called into the pits. As we've got Alonso having a little cheeky look at Nico Hulkenberg. Russell's stop wasn't great. 3.1. Not a great stop. Whereas Russell going to feed. He's in a bit of traffic here, Russell, but he feeds back in just ahead of Hulkenberg, who's defending from Alonso. Alonso's having to go at Hulkenberg on the outside here, but Hulkenberg defends. I've got a little Galaxy Ripple bar here. I'm going to have it. I'm going to put my microphone between my legs. Cheeky. So you should hopefully still be able to just about hear me. Alonso on Hulkenberg looks close. He's done it. He's down the inside. Alonso through. Oh, Hulkenberg goes off. But Alonso stays in front. That's Perez's move on Sonoda we're seeing back. There's actually been quite a few overtakes in this race. But it's a strategy game. I wonder if, as we've got a move here down the inside, that is Russell through on Ocon. Hamilton saying it's impossible to see the curb in the chicane. I think that's because of the bollard. Okay, they've just cut to a replay, but there seemed to be something going on. Russell down the inside of Ocon, we saw that. But something else was going on. Oh no. I think I need a wee-wee. Hamilton in the pits. Should have brought a bottle. Piss bottle. Norris has the fastest lap, and he's only 1.7 behind Sainz now. And Verstappen hasn't really caught Piastri that much, but we've seen it before that the hard tyres take a while to heat up. Yes, the medium. So Piastri, Sainz, and Norris, who haven't pitted yet, are actually running faster than Verstappen and Leclerc, who have, because the hards are taking a long time to warm up, by the looks of things. And Ferrari are telling Sainz to box. As we've got to move here around the outside. That's a Mercedes. Oh, it's tight. That's Russell on Ricciardo. He's done it. Russell gets the move done. And Sainz is in the pits. And Piastri's pitting as well. Lando Norris leads the Miami Grand Prix. Oscar Piastri and Carlos Sainz pitting. It was a quicker stop for Piastri than it was for Sainz. But Sainz... So Leclerc is ahead of them both. Leclerc has jumped Piastri, but not by a lot. Piastri's on much fresher tyres. So it's Norris leading, but hasn't stopped yet. Verstappen, Leclerc, Piastri, Sainz, Perez. I'm seeing yellow flag. Verstappen saying he's locked up again. He's struggling with the grip. We have a yellow flag, but I've not seen it on my monitor yet because my monitor's behind. Yellow flag sector 1. What's happened? Oh, Magnussen is off. Is Sargent involved? Sargent and Magnussen have crashed. We're going to get a safety car. We're going to get a safety car, and Lando Norris is going to take the lead. Can Lando Norris get in? Safety car. Lando Norris takes the lead. If he can get out this safety car, so Verstappen pits, Norris goes into the lead. And if Lando Norris can get in the pits and out again, he will legitimately lead the Miami Grand Prix ahead of Max Verstappen. Lando Norris. Can they do it? Logie Sargent. Sergio Perez is pitting. Sergio Perez is pitting. Again. But where's Norris? So we haven't seen the replay yet. Sargent and Magnussen have had a crash. We can see there the driver out of the car, so they're okay. Hülkenberg, Zhou, Ricciardo all pitting. Let's see a replay. So it's Magnussen behind Logan Sargent. Magnussen on the outside here. And, okay, Sargent has gone in deep. And Magnussen tries to go around the outside. And Sargent closes the door. But was Magnussen meant to be there, really? Let's have a look. Sargent breaks late. Holds off the position. Magnussen is now on his outside. And Sargent turns in. not knowing he was there. It's just, for me, it's a 50-50, that one. Sargent should know he's there, but Magnussen sticking a nose in. I'd say that's a 50-50 racing incident. The FIA might say it's Magnussen's fault because he was behind, but here we go. Lando Norris. Lando Norris is going to take the lead of the Miami Grand Prix. Lando Norris pits under the safety car. He was in the lead because he hadn't pitted yet. Verstappen had already pitted. And Lando Norris legitimately leads the Grand Prix. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? We've got Ethan in the chat. What's he saying? Red flag, he's saying. Is that a theory or has that happened? I've got timing screens in front of me, which you guys can see on the screen. That's saying safety car. My monitor is about 30 seconds behind. But Lando Norris leads. Lando Norris leads. Wow. I mean, this race has been turned on its head. So so the safety car has picked up Verstappen, thinking that Verstappen's in the lead, which has left Lando Norris miles out in front. So what happens here then? Do they let? It's a theory for Ethan. He's thinking that maybe a red flag. So does this mean that they have to now let? Where am I at? I'm just seeing if my stream's by. No, it's only a couple of seconds. But yeah, so they're letting them through. I was gonna say they'd picked up Verstappen as if he was leading, but Norris is leading. So they've let those through and they're gonna let them come round again. Wow, Lando Norris leads the Miami Grand Prix. Now this is gonna be really interesting because Verstappen has been in the lead, he's been sort of looking after his tyres, he's been in control. And suddenly now, he's going to have to go and overtake Lando Norris on a track that's hard to overtake at. Wow. We've got a race on our hands. Who said Formula 1 was boring? Who said Formula 1 was boring? I mean, I say that now. Max might just go back past. He might just go back past. I need a tinkle. I need a tinkle time. So, just pissing. Be back in a couple of seconds. Just pissing. Back in a sec. As for who I think is at fault there, I think it's 50-50, maybe 60-40. Magnussen sticking a nose in where it maybe didn't belong. Sargent should have known where he was, but Magnussen was never ahead. It was a desperate move. I'm going to say racing incident, slightly more Magnussen's fault. Be back in a sec. calls. And nature definitely called for me. But I'm back. So, Lando Norris leads. And also, they're just mentioning on the commentary, Norris's tyres will be fresher. However, we've seen that the hard tyres take a little bit of time to heat up. So, safety car's ending. This is good timing for me to get back from my piss. Lando Norris. This is going to be interesting. I'm getting through a message from Ethan saying that K-Mag's got a 10-second penalty. Not that surprised. I feel like when it's 60-40, the stewards just slam a penalty down anyway. He was behind. I mean, if you're going to give a penalty to either of them, I would say you'd probably give it to Magnussen. But to be honest, it was pretty 50-50. I think just racing incident. But you know, it was more Magnussen's fault. So yeah, K-Mag 10-second penalty. Thanks for that, Ethan. He's just firing out warnings, is Ethan? Just because I think I'm slightly behind. But we're away. We're about to get underway. This is going to be interesting. Is Verstappen going to have overwhelming pace and just going to go past him? Because Lando Norris is going to legitimately, with fresher tyres, lead away. Max is right there with him. He's right side by side with him. But away goes Norris. Looks like Verstappen's really close to him, though. Verstappen's really close. Is he going to go around the outside? All the Ferraris sticking his nose in there. Leclerc, but Norris has survived that. It wasn't the best restart, but Lando Norris. What a chance now. Lando Norris, go and win your first Grand Prix. Can he do it? Can he hold off Max Verstappen? Is he going to be quicker than Max Verstappen? He's got fresher tyres. But McLaren have looked quick. Piastri looked quick. He was staying with Max. And of course, Verstappen just had the clear air. And actually, Leclerc looks closer to Verstappen than Verstappen does to Norris at the moment. Interesting race ahead of us here. It's going to be... Oh, Leclerc looks down the inside. Never really going to do it there, but cheeky Leclerc showing his nose. Showing his nose down the inside, and Verstappen, because of that, has now dropped out of DRS range. This is incredible. Is Lando Norris about to win his first Grand Prix? Is Lando Norris going to do it? Now, the thing about Norris is he's had chances to win. He's a brilliant driver. He's performed really well. But there's a couple of question marks. Some people say that he has a little bit of bottle job in him. I think if he gets passed by Verstappen here, it would not be a bottle job. The Red Bull is quicker. But so far, he's 1.2 ahead. Fastest lap for Lando. This is going to be fascinating. Will the Red Bull take a bit of time to warm its tyres up? How will the Red Bull get on in the dirty air? It's a car that's been so used to running ahead of everyone else. Norris 0.2 faster than Verstappen in the first sector. Long way to go in this race, but what a race we've suddenly got on our hands. Sainz is putting Piastri under pressure, though. This is interesting. Sainz round the outside of Piastri. Oh, Piastri goes deep and pushes him off. Now that's going to be interesting. Will the FIA look at that? Because Piastri, it looked like Sainz was ahead and Piastri broke later and pushed him a bit wide. Hamilton passed Tsunoda. But that's interesting. The fact that Sainz is attacking Piastri, does that mean that the McLaren's tyres will fade? Will we see the same thing from Norris? Yep, Sainz saying he pushed me off. It looked like he did, to be honest, Carlos. I'm not disagreeing with you. Leclerc is closer to Verstappen, though, than Verstappen is to Norris. Lando Norris has built a 1.5 gap, as again Sainz is looking at Piastri. What a race. Let's have a look. So Sainz on the outside, and yeah, Piastri does look to have pushed him off. He does look to have pushed him off. Yeah. Now it's going to be interesting. Do they give Piastri a penalty? Do they ask him to give the position back? Hamilton's got past Sonoda. Good move, that, to be honest. I think Sonoda should have shut the door on him there. But good move. And Leclerc is with Verstappen here. What a race we've got on our hands. Are we going to see a first ever Lando Norris Grand Prix win? We're an hour into this race now. We're exactly an hour in. Past halfway. Sainz thinking bigger picture, just saying, give me the position and you won't get a penalty. This is going to be interesting. Now, is it a case of the Red Bull just playing its tyres into the window? Is Verstappen building, or is Norris genuinely faster? Or has he gone off too quick and is he going to burn his tyres out? This is going to be interesting. Sainz is really getting onto them. He's really saying, come on, you got to let me through. He's got DRS. Is he going to try and get past him again? Piastri defends in the same place. Sainz going through in the same place, but defends Piastri well. Piastri defends well. We've got another viewer. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I know who it is, but I don't know if they want me to announce who it is. Get in the chat. Lando Norris leads the Miami Grand Prix. He got through during a safety car. Can Max Verstappen get back past him? He's falling away. Is Lando Norris about to win his first Grand Prix? He sets the fastest lap. Norris. No further action. No action. Wow, Sainz is not going to be happy. He was on at them, wasn't he? Sainz was demanding that he gives the position back, but he's not going to. And we like to see hard racing. I thought it looked like he forced him off, but I'm not against that. I don't mind the stewards sitting back and going, you know what? Sort it out yourselves, boys. Norris leads by 2.1 seconds. Is Verstappen biding his time? Is Norris genuinely just quicker than the Red Bull at the moment? Fascinating. 20 laps to go. Is Lando gonna do it? You've got the live you've got the live timings there in front of you. And you've got, as you can see, Lando Norris, purple, therefore quickest. I've finished my Erdinger alcohol free, alcohol fry, alcohol fry, which I'm guessing is German for alcohol free. Not a bad representation. Not a bad representation at all. In fact, there's a little bit left in there. Science Team Radio. No further investigation. This will be interesting. What does he think? He's incredible. He's incredible. He's incredible. He's incredible. I've got down to the piss water bits at the bottom though. So Carlos Sainz is all over Piastri, but Max Verstappen is 2.3 seconds behind Lando Norris. This is incredible. Can Lando do it? I mean, he deserves a win. It's funny because after all of his brilliant drives where he's extracted the absolute maximum out of the car, if he does it this time, it'll be in a situation where he hasn't really looked like doing it. He's got a bit lucky. He rolled the dice. They rolled the dice on strategy, as Sainz is very close to the back of Piastri. But I tell you what, no one deserves it more. And if you were to say, well, who's going to be the next person to get their first win, you'd say Norris any day of the week. As Sainz is really close to Piastri, but that straight's just not long enough. You need to get past on the one before. The one where Piastri kind of dive-bombed back past Sainz to get back through. Verstappen team radio. He's saying he says the car's a disaster. The front end is not doing what Max wants it to do. Is Lando Norris about to win his first Grand Prix? And I guess if you're Max Verstappen, as here comes Sainz, he looks down the inside. Not close enough. I suppose if you're Max Verstappen and you get close to Lando Norris, do you risk a big move? Because although he's a long way ahead in the championship, do you just bank the points and say, right, well, I've been unlucky today. You know, I was leading. I got unlucky with the timing of the safety car. Does he just go, right, bank the points, or does he send it? Does he lick the stamp and send it? Is he going to get close enough? Sainz down the inside. Oh, contact! Sainz just had a little swapper as he went through. I think there was a touch. There was a touch with Piastri. Now, in years gone by, you can get punctures for that. It was a front wing contact as Piastri goes back through. Piastri goes back through, but he's off the track. Piastri outbroke himself. And he's off the track, and Sainz does go through. There was contact. It was front wing of Piastri on rear wheel of Sainz. We've seen punctures for that in the past, but not to be, it seems. And Piastri couldn't slow his car down, which allows Sainz through into fourth place. Piastri under threat from Perez. Perez round the outside of Piastri. Perez tries to put the squeeze on and gets through. And whoa, around the outside goes Hamilton. Hamilton goes through. Piastri loses 2 places in one go. With one McLaren leading, Piastri was running second in the early stages of the Grand Prix. And now he's dropping back like a stone as both Perez and Hamilton go through. Yeah, he's damaged his front wing. It did look like there was front wing end plate damage on the with the contact with Sainz. Just as Sainz got a bit squirrely, lost the back end, and Piastri front wing contact. Sainz says his car's okay. I mean, in years gone by, as I've said, you can get punctures for that. Is Piastri pitting? Oh, what a shame for Oscar Piastri. Oscar Piastri is pitting to get his front wing replaced, and that, unless there's another safety car, is going to be the end of his quest for points, which is such a shame. He's driven really well. It was a very clumsy contact, but I don't think it was really Piastri's fault. Sainz got a swapper on. Let's have a look. They're going to show it now. So Sainz goes down the inside, brakes hard and late, and then turns in, and then he just slides. And Sainz sliding took Piastri out of by surprise. Yeah, I don't think you can blame Oscar for... Oh, it's unlucky. Yeah, you see the end plate crunch upwards. Sainz gets away with one. Well, Lando Norris getting some fantastic luck to lead the race, and Piastri, terrible bad luck. Really unlucky. He now needs a safety car to get back. But Norris is just comfortable. 3.3 seconds ahead. Science Team Radio. Something is wrong with the car. Is it because of the contact? It was pretty hefty contact with the front wing of Oscar Piastri. So is Perez going to just close in on Sainz then if Sainz has got problems? Hamilton's just behind Perez as well. But yeah, Verstappen's just not catching Norris. I think unless Verstappen's holding back for an onslaught. Unless he's just holding back for an onslaught, it looks like Norris is going to win this. It looks like Lando Norris. I mean, the Red Bull hasn't been brilliant around this track. It slid around, it struggled, and of course, Verstappen was driving around it. He was leading, but with that little bit of fortune, with the safety car, gifting Lando the chance, he's taking this chance so far. He's taken it with both hands so far. I mean, Sainz doesn't appear to be that slow. He doesn't appear to be that slow. So I don't think he's got too much damage. Norris continuing to lead. So as a Max fan, you want Verstappen to win, but also I'd be so happy for Lando Norris. I'd be so happy for him if he wins it. So it's a bit of a win-win for me, really. If Max finds a way through, then that'll be fine, great. He wins another one, and I'd be happy as a fan. But I also would not begrudge Lando this win at all. It's very fortunate. It's a very fortunate win, but that's Formula One, and he looks really quick, and he looks really good. And he's been unfortunate in the past, and he's made mistakes in the past that have cost him wins. So I would be more than happy to say, you know what, Max can skip a week, Lando gets the win. But let's see how we go. He's 3.8 seconds ahead, and that's about... So when Max was leading before the safety car gave Norris the lead, Max was about 4 seconds ahead of Leclerc and Piastri in second. So Norris is now nearly as far ahead of Verstappen as Verstappen was ahead of the rest of them before Norris got given the lead. Which, you know what, is a very good sign for Lando, who, of course, because he pitted under the safety car and got given the lead, he also has fresher tyres. So it's all there. It's all there. It's fallen into his lap. And he's taken it. 4 seconds the lead now. Alonso somehow is in the points. He of course, got a bit of luck with the virtual safety car with his pit stop. But Fernando Alonso on the mediums is now harrying Esteban Ocon. You'd probably expect him to get past Esteban Ocon. And I tell you what, from where Alonso started, he always finds a way. Fernando Alonso always finds a way. Even with that struggling qualifying, finishing 15th in qualifying, struggling in the sprint as well. But he always finds a way, come race day, to just extract the most out of his car. As Zhou Guan Yu diving down the inside of Albon, but he's not been able to make that one stick. Had to back out of it. 12 laps to go. 13 laps to go. We've got a gaggle here. Albon, Zhou, Ricciardo, Stroll, all in a line. I mean, it doesn't really matter. They're battling for 13th, but looks like Stroll's going to try and come through. Defensive shape from Ricciardo, who, of course, had a great sprint race. Not such a great race itself. And Lance Stroll is going to pull out now and surely go around the outside of Ricciardo. He's trying to. Oh, it's going to be tight. Oh, he's got through. He's got through. He squeezes by. But it's only 15th. Tell you what, Stroll has out-qualified Alonso, outraced him in the sprint, outraced him in full qualifying as well. And somehow Fernando Alonso finds a way. Speaking of finding a way, I think Max Verstappen is just accepting that he's not going to be able to get past Norris. He's 4.5 seconds behind. I mean, all weekend Max has been saying, to be honest, I'm surprised we're in the lead. I'm surprised we're on pole. I'm surprised we're winning because the car has just not felt good, which is just a testament to Max's ability to somehow extract the most out of it. But we're seeing here now that he wasn't wrong. He led from the start, of course, but now that he's lost the lead, of course, through no fault of his own, just unlucky with the safety car coming out and giving Lando the lead. But we're seeing now in reality, without being in front, he's not able to get past. He's not able to close in. That car is fundamentally not as quick as the McLaren. And it was just, it seems, the heroics of Max that was allowing him to win the Grand Prix. But if you pick Lando up and put him in front, which is, of course, pretty much what happens with the safety car. So to explain that slightly, if you box under the safety car, because everyone else is going around the track at a slower speed, you lose less time in the pits. So Verstappen made a pit stop in normal racing conditions, which loses you about 25, 22 seconds. He came out in second behind Norris, who obviously still had to pit, so would have, if they'd have pitted in normal racing conditions, come out behind. But because the safety car came out, everyone's trundling around, Norris only loses 10 seconds. So it's basically a free hit, a free pit stop, which has given Lando the lead. But because that's happening, we're seeing that the Red Bull just isn't quick. It just isn't quick. And Lando has very assuredly driven off into the distance. Alonso trying to get past Esteban Ocon, which, well, you'd expect him to be quicker than the Alpine. If Ocon can finish in the points, that'll be a cracking result for Alpine. Their first points of the season on the cards here. So yeah, this will be the first time since Singapore last year that Max Verstappen has finished a race and not won it. If he does finish, that's what we're looking at. A turn up for the books, as here comes Alonso around the outside of Ocon. Now these two have got history. Ocon locks up, runs a bit wide, but stays in front. These two had many battles when they were teammates. Alonso often getting unhappy with Ocon for his racing. And it looked like a bit of a late move, but 10 laps to go. Norris leads Verstappen by 5 seconds. As Alonso closing in once again on Ocon, goes to the outside. Is he going to go all the way around or is he going to switch back? He's doing a switch back. Alonso versus Ocon into turn 1. He's got the run. Ocon goes defensive. Alonso around the outsides. Ocon breaks later. Runs deep. Alonso's going to switch back on him. He's switching back again, but I think Ocon's going to hold on. Ocon very deep on the brakes, but stays in front. But it's surely only a matter of time before Fernando Alonso moves into 9th place, which I think for him and for Aston Martin, 9th place this weekend would be a decent result for them. I think you'd take that. As Norris now 5.2. It's going to have to be a Norris mistake. As here comes Alonso around the outside again of Ocon, and he sweeps by and claims the inside of the corner and says, "No, Esteban. No, 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 no. You're not doing it again, my friend. Not this time." So Fernando Alonso moves into 9th place. But if Ocon can hold on in 10th ahead of Nico Hülkenberg, this is going to be interesting now. Hülkenberg is going to join this party. Can Ocon get Alpine's first points of the season? He's trying to hang on to the back of Alonso with the DRS and pull himself away from Nico Hülkenberg. Through goes Alonso, and he just did well just to cut off the inside line. .4. As things stand, Lando Norris is cruising towards a first career victory. 5.6 seconds ahead now. Good friends, of course, Lando Norris and Max Verstappen off the track there. Very close. They stay up late together, playing their games. They stay up late to play iRacing, to play Fortnite. And I'm sure Max will be full of praise and very happy to see his good mate win a race. Of course, Max likes to win. He wants to win them all. And he won't be happy with his car. He won't be happy with the slice of luck that Lando got, but I'm sure he will. He'll be happy to see his good mate win. And I'm sure Lando Norris, well, he just seems calm and serene. We've not heard much on the radio from him so far. But he's just pulling away. He's just pulling away. Yep. That's what I was saying earlier, Martin. Brundle just making the point that now they're out in front, the McLarens just seem faster. The McLaren just seemed like a faster car than the Red Bull this weekend. And it has done. All through the weekend, the McLaren of particularly Lando Norris has seemed quicker. It's just that Max Verstappen puts the laps together and Lando Norris hasn't been able to do that. But now they're out in front through a little bit of fortune. They're quicker. They are quicker. And it was just Max. It was just Max doing Max things that was getting him the win today. But Max in the Red Bull, that car has just not been as quick as the McLaren. And Lando looks set to take victory. He's got 7 more laps to go, 6 more laps to go. As Perez is closing in on Carlos Sainz. Well, he's not really. It's more Hamilton on Perez. As we're on board with Oscar Piastri, who's been unlucky. Norris has had all the luck, really. As Piastri, is he going to go? He's going to send it. He's going to send it. Oh, he's going to send it down the inside on Ricciardo, who holds the ground for now. But back onto the straight, back into the DRS. Who's got the more straight line speed? Who's late on the brakes? Piastri locks up, trying to go around the outside. It's so dusty there. Oh, Ricciardo cuts across, and Piastri has to let him go. Great racing for 16th place. Unlucky Oscar Piastri so far in this Grand Prix. Of course, he was running second early on. Lost out under the safety car and then lost out with contact with Carlos Sainz. That wasn't his fault. But he's giving it a good go. A good show for the fans. But Ricciardo holds on. That could have been close. Wow, a reminder to Oscar from the team saying that Lando is leading the race. Do not cause a safety car. Let's see that the team are really concerned about it. Sounds like they're more concerned than Lando is. Lando's just driving off into the distance. He's in a faster car. It just seems like the McLaren's faster. Piastri was outperforming Perez before he got unlucky. And really, all through the weekend, Norris has been quicker than Verstappen, just hasn't strung the laps together the way Max has. Lando Norris, as we're seeing here down the inside, Lance Stroll having a little look at Alex Albon. But he's not able to get through. We've got some defensive driving here. That's Albon again with Stroll. As Stroll looks to go around the outside. Oh, careful, boys. Stroll off the track, on the track. He did go off the track to get past, but it looked like Albon sort of squeezed him out, and Zhou goes through. Albon dropping down there, got on the dusty part of the track, and at this circuit, with the marbles, with the dust, that's just what happens. That's just what happens. As, Ricciardo is now on the back of Albon, and Piastri, we know, has been close. Lando Norris now 6.1 ahead as Ricciardo shapes to have a little look. But he's not going to get through there. I mean, Lando looks absolutely... He looks absolutely bang on, doesn't he, for the first win? Now, it looks like Lance Stroll did go all four wheels off. Let's have a look. But he's being pushed. He's being pushed. If they ask him to give that back or give him a penalty, then that's ridiculous, because he was being pushed off and he deserved to be able to keep the place. Leaving the track and gaining an advantage noted. No, don't give him a penalty. I don't think Lance Stroll is good enough at all, but he does not deserve a penalty for that. That was just good racing. Albon pushes him off, and he just kept his foot in. Nothing wrong with that. Lando Norris leads by 6.3 seconds. And he's just disappeared off, hasn't he? The McLaren is quicker. It's looked that way all weekend. It's looked that way. It's just that Norris hasn't been able to put it together, and Max has. But we're seeing that if you just put Norris in front... Oh, lock-up, big lock-up. Oh, is that Albon? It is. Straight on for the Williams. What a torrid day. Sargent is out. Albon's goes straight on and will finish last now, surely. Big lock-up. But yeah, we're seeing that if Norris had led the way, and of course through the safety car fortune, he was allowed to do so, the McLarens are quicker. And I think this is where you just have to give, people talk about it's only the car with Max, but you have to give them the credit, because this weekend, Red Bull were not the fastest car, and yet he got pole in the sprint, won the sprint, was leading this race, and just got unfortunate with the safety car. Again, it's the brilliance of Max Verstappen. It's not just the Red Bull. Red Bull were not the quickest car this weekend, and Max was on for the win. You've got to praise Max Verstappen for that. But Lando Norris, with the fortune of the safety car, the perfect timing for him, he rolled the dice. Well, McLaren, I think they looked into it. They were just trying to extend long, but the safety car came at the perfect time, and he's been put into the lead because of it, and he's been absolutely brilliant. He's just disappeared off into the lead, 6.5 seconds ahead. The McLaren's faster. The McLaren around Miami this weekend has been faster than Red Bull. It's just the brilliance of Max that has that was putting him on the provisional top step of the podium. But the brilliance of Lando Norris is that he hasn't bottled it. He was presented with a chance. Fortunate. I mean, he was being outperformed by Piastri, so it's really unlucky for Piastri because he was the lead McLaren in the race. But Norris got the look, and he's taken that chance, and he's just disappeared. 6.7 seconds. He's led with maturity, no mistakes, no problems at all. And you can only take your hat off to Norris, and nobody deserves it more. Nobody deserves it more. And if there's anyone, I mean, I think it's probably the most popular debut winner for a long, long time. Lando Norris. I think probably the last most popular debut winner might have even been Max when he won his first Grand Prix in his first race for Red Bull back at the Spanish Grand Prix, breaking the Hamilton dominance at the time. Norris is now breaking the Verstappen dominance, and as I say, nobody deserves it more. We're seeing a replay of Oscar Piastri, poor Oscar Piastri, down the inside of his fellow Aussie, Daniel Ricciardo. I mean, let's not forget, Piastri, as I said, was the lead McLaren. He was the one running in second. He was one of the people who lost out with the safety car through no fault of his own. Contact with Sainz that was not his fault. Let's not forget, Max Verstappen is not the only person who lost out under that safety car. Oscar Piastri was the lead McLaren. So it's very unfortunate for him, but you got to say, Lando Norris, he's taken his chance brilliantly. 7.2 seconds ahead. Lando Norris. Penultimate lap of the race. He's going to do it. He's going to do it, isn't he? Lando's going to do it. And they're cheering him along, the McLaren fans in Miami. He's about to go on to the last lap for his first ever Grand Prix. There's some Lisa, who is a musician apparently, is going to wave the checkered flag. I have no idea who she is, but she's in place. Stroll under investigation. Disagree, mate. Don't think he should. Well, I don't think he should get a penalty. I just think that, I don't like Stroll. I don't think he's good enough. I think he should be removed from the sport. I think Daddy's money should not be keeping him in. But my humble opinion is that he was being forced off. So I think just racing, just carry on. Yeah, that's my thought. What do you think, mate? I think no penalty on that one. But I think they'll probably give him one because the stewards are idiots. Lando Norris is on the final lap. Lando Norris is going to do it. He's going to do it. Sure, fortunate with the safety car. Fortunate he wasn't the lead McLaren at the time. But when you're presented with your opportunity, you've got to take it. And you can that's all you can do. And people say that Lando Norris has got a bit of a bottle job reputation. Well, he's not bottled this. He got given a chance. The safety car put the race in his lap. And Lando Norris has done it. And all you can do, Lando Norris has won his first Grand Prix. And I'm a Max Verstappen fan, you know that, but I'm very happy for Lando Norris. Very happy for him. What a moment. Oh, he's done it. Oh, he's done it. I'm so happy for him. It's taken longer than it should have done, and I really hope he kicks on because he's good enough to challenge for titles. He really is. If he just puts it all together, he's good enough. Feel sorry for Oscar Piastri because he was actually the lead McLaren when the safety car came out, and he just got unlucky today. I mean, I would feel sorry for Max Verstappen. This is great to see, by the way. They're great friends. I mean, look at that. Max Verstappen applauding Lando Norris. I mean, how can you hate on Max? I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm a fanboy, but how can you hate on him? Norris winning his first race. Max pulls alongside and gives him a thorough round of applause. And that is great to see. Great to see. They're best mates, and I think Max will be really happy for him. I mean, if Max Verstappen hadn't dominated every race so far and, be way ahead in the title and just be dominating F1, then you would feel a bit sorry for him because he was leading and the safety car came out and took it away from him. But you can't really feel sorry for Max, can you? Even me, the most hardened Max Verstappen fan, you can't really feel sorry for him because he's kind of had it own, through pure skill and his own ability, he has had it his own way for a long time. And, eventually he was going to get unlucky. And he got unlucky today. And Norris, we did it, he says. We did it. Oh, I'm so happy for him. I'm so happy for Lando. I love Lando. You can't not like Lando Norris. He's just such a nice guy, such a chill geezer. And if there was anybody who was going to take away a race from Max through good fortune, if you could ask me, who would you want it to be? I'd probably say Fernando Alonso. But then I'd say Lando Norris. Stroll got a penalty. Ethan is feeding back to me saying that Stroll got demoted. Well, that's a joke. I mean, he wasn't going to get a point anyway, but that's worrying because what if that happens in a fight for the lead? What if someone does that for the lead, gets pushed off, but keeps his foot in? That's just racing. I disagree with that. But hey, it doesn't affect things now. It could do down the line if that starts to happen to the front guys. But, well, my first ever F1 live stream, and maybe I'm the Max Verstappen curse. Maybe if I keep watching F1 on live streams, then Max won't win. Who knows? I hope not. I'm happy for it to happen this once. I'm happy for my first F1 live stream to bring someone who's never won before a Grand Prix victory. But, yeah, not too much of that because I still want Max in the end to overtake Hamilton and get more wins than him. So we can put that argument to bed. But today's Norris's day. Today is Norris's day, and he deserves it. He deserves it. And I feel so happy for him. The audio of my stream is behind the video, so I'm just going to switch over. Bless him. He's just shouted out his grandma. He's just dedicated the win to his grandma. What a likeable guy. What a likeable guy. And I'm very impressed with Max taking it very well, applauding Norris. I reckon he'll probably be the first person to go over to Norris and congratulate him as well. And Lando Norris, what a man. What a man. Lando Norris is a race winner, and you can see the relief. He's not going crazy and jumping around. He's just kind of going, oh, thank God, finally. And the first person, what did I say, to go over and congratulate him, Max Verstappen, goes to Norris, gives him a hug and says, well done, mate. Best mates, these two. And I'm sure that if Max would have lost out to anyone, he'll be happy to lose out to Lando. Again, through no fault of his own. But you still have to say, Lando, after he got that bit of luck, he was fantastic. He was fantastic. And he drove away. The McLaren was quicker. Charles Leclerc's just come over to give him a hug and say, well done. Well done. Well done, Lando. Well done. So Lando Norris, on my first ever Formula One live stream, wins his first ever Formula One race. Fernando Alonso comes over and gives him a big hug. Great to see the three drivers that have come and given Lando Norris a hug. Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, Fernando Alonso. Three drivers that I really like, which means that I've got a correct taste in drivers, all right? I like the nice ones. And Lando is also a nice one. I'm very happy for him. What a moment. I mean, it's history. It's the first, whenever you're there to witness the first of something, and I'm sure it'll be the first of many. I'm sure, and Sainz comes over. These two are buddies as well. Sainz comes over to give him a big hug and say, well done. It's just great to see. He's such a popular guy, and everyone will be so happy for him. Twitch streamer, Fortnite extraordinaire, and now Formula One race winner, Lando Norris. There we go. There's the crew. And he comes running over. And he dives in. Oh, it's so good. This is so wholesome. He's just dived into his team. And starfished. And he's now crowd surfing with his team. Oh, this is great. This is genuinely great to watch. And they're lifting him up. Oh, this is brilliant. I'm so glad I chose to stream this race of all races. And look at the big, massive smile I've got on my face. And I've just seen my favourite driver have a win taken away from him. And yet I'm grinning away because the guy who's got the win is Lando Norris. Brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff. Well, thank you to everyone who joined in. We've still got 3 people watching, so I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. I hope you're as happy for Lando as I am. Brilliant to experience. Lando Norris Grand Prix winner. Absolutely fantastic. So just to run through the results then, Lando Norris wins his first ever Formula One Grand Prix as George Russell comes across to congratulate him. Lando wins out ahead of Max Verstappen. Ricciardo comes to say hello and say well done. All the drivers now are just coming over. Everyone likes Lando. Verstappen led the whole race through to the safety car. The safety car came out, timed perfectly to allow Norris to inherit the lead. Verstappen second, Leclerc third, Sainz fourth, Perez fifth, Hamilton sixth, Tsunoda seventh. Good drive from Yuki Tsunoda, to be fair. Russell 8th. Alonso somehow always finds a way to get points. And now Max and Lando having a little conversation with smiles on their faces. Great to see. Alonso 9th. Ocon, great point. First points of the season for Alpine. Hulkenberg just missing out in 11th. Gasly 12th. Piastri so unlucky. I mean, let's not forget, Oscar Piastri was the lead McLaren. You know, well done to Lando. So happy for him. But Oscar Piastri was the McLaren ahead before the safety car. He was running second to Verstappen, was Oscar Piastri, doing a really good job. The safety car came out. Didn't just mess up Verstappen, it messed up Oscar Piastri as well because he was beating his teammate and Norris got a bit fortunate. But hey, if anyone's going to get fortunate, I'm glad it's Lando Norris. Joe 14th, Ricciardo 15th after his fantastic sprint, struggled in the race. Bottas 16th. Stroll demoted to 17th after what I thought was a fair move. Went round the outside of, I think it was Albon, got squeezed out, pushed wide, kept on going, got a penalty for it. Disagree with that. Magnussen, what a torrid weekend for him. about 50 million seconds in penalties. Albon, who got his just desserts for forcing Stroll off, went straight on and finished last. And Logan Sargent, in that contact with Magnussen, the only person who retired. And Norris has just said in his interview with Jenson Button he's over the moon. I'm sure he is. And I'm over the moon that in my first F1 stream, I witnessed Norris's first win. For everyone who joined me, thank you for doing so. I might do more of these. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, have a great evening. And the next video that you will see from myself will be another LEGO Star Wars video, probably on Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday, where we'll be on Geonosis. So join me for that. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one. Well done, Lando. Well done, Lando.